Hey there, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Gwen from the Dr. Gwen International Training and Empowerment Academy and host of the iTunes show, The Dr. Gwen Show. I am so delighted again to be here with you. It's like every day I am looking forward to this time that we can spend together just connecting and just chatting. You know, I am chatting to you about my experiences in my life and some of the things that I have noticed as I evolve through the various phases of my life. And I understand that everyone is not in the same place. And if you're in your 20s, you're in a different phase than someone who may be in their 30s, than someone in their 40s or their 50s or their 60s. It's completely a different phase of life. And what I want everyone to understand is that nobody is in a wrong phase of life, and whatever your experience is in life is just the experience that you needed. That may seem so hard to absorb and so hard to believe, but I really believe that we have different life paths. And we are learning as we go to master the experiences that come our way. So those experiences that happen to us are not accident. And the sooner we learn from those experiences, the better it is really going to be. So I know we have come a long way. Thank you so much for joining me. We've come a long way and we have been, hey there, I'm so happy to see you. Thanks for the like and the love, Bubbles. And, you know, we've come a long way and we've evolved as individuals. I know when I was in my 20s, it was a different set of experience from when I was in my 30s to in my 40s, and I'm going to stop. Not that I'm hiding my age, you know, but yeah, I'm pretty up there. And so there are a lot of things that I have learned, and I feel like my life experience is not just for me alone. It's not. I feel like if I can be just this person standing in the gap, just to lighten somebody's load so that if they're going that way, hey Jackie, thanks for that love bubble. If they are actually going that way, I can enlighten them. Hi Diane. Oh, thank you. I am so incredibly happy that you enjoy them. And so if I can actually make just a smidget of a difference for someone, it will mean the world to them, because I remember when I felt so all alone as a young woman evolving with all the experiences in life, and I didn't know what to make of it. I really didn't. So I'm so glad to hear that, you know, that meeting I went to last week, that conference, I had a few folks say to me, I really enjoy seeing you on Facebook Live. I enjoy your talks. And Diane just said that, and I just really appreciate it, because I feel like if everybody can in some way touch somebody else's life, what a world we would have. What a world. Don't you think it'd be such a lighter world? Women wouldn't feel as though they're all alone in some of their experiences. Hey, Jackie. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Oh, you're more than welcome. I really, you know, I feel welcome. And if you hear a noise in the background, I am actually puppy sitting. I have what I call my grand dog, Bailey. I would take off this camera and show him to you, but I don't want to hit any button at all. You know, I'm paranoid. Yesterday that was a fluke, and there goes Bailey, you know, like he should, making all that noise with his little collar in the background. I want to turn around and tell him to sit, but I don't want to be distracted or distracting you. But anyway, yeah, so today the topic is what do you want in life? Do you feel like there is a point where you have stopped achieving what you want? Take a picture. Okay, I will. I'll upload one later. Do you feel like that? You know, I know from me, my experience has been, I feel like I've been very, very successful in my life, right? And I told you guys that there was a point when I walked away from my full-time career, doing what I thought is something I wanted to do, which was real estate investing. And what I discovered was that even though I liked it, it wasn't my passion. And right now, at this stage of my life, I'm not about going off to experiment doing any and everything. I want to make sure that when I depart this earth, that I have made a difference for someone in their life. And so that is my mission, to make an impact for people in their lives. And if it can be just a small segment of the population of women or men, I'm delighted to do that. So now, do you find though that you may be progressing at one point in your life and then comes another point in your life and things seem to come to a halt? Like it's almost like it comes to a halt. I know I've been there. Okay, I have been there. And it just feels like every step I took, there was a block in my way. Like something was physically dropping in my path and blocking what I needed to do. And that's what it felt like for me at one point. And at that point, I told you also about, you know, my experience with my current marriage, where my husband and I, we share this story very often. And there was actually a point where we were going to go our separate ways. And that was a rough patch of time for me. It really, truly was. And I shared this a lot with the people who were close to me. And I didn't know what to make of it, because it was almost like this trajectory of success kind of came to a halt. And I had to take a step back and really ask myself, what do I really want? What do I want in my life? And during that point in time, I started doing a lot of reading and a lot of searching and a lot of deep soul searching questions and seeking answers. And this was when I felt like I became so deeply connected with the core of who I am as a person. Yes. Hey, Russell. Oh, thank you, darling. I really appreciate that. So, you know, I feel like, you know, I went there and there's this rough patch of time when, you know, I'd talk to my friends. Even, you know, this was in 2013. And this time I went back to my conference last week, CEO Space. And I met a couple friends there that I met in 2013. And you know what they said to me? They said, "You're so much different. Last time, it's like you are lighter now, and that things are in the flow. Because the last time you seemed heavy." And I wasn't aware of that. You know, I really wasn't aware of that. So it's just something that you just have to cue into who you're being. And yet at the same time, I don't want to feel like I am continuously on guard for who I'm being. But I'll talk to you some more about that piece, believe me, at another time. So just hearing that person say that to me meant a lot, because then it confirmed that the growth that I was feeling inside of me was real, and it wasn't all just, oh, great, Diane. Yes, honey, let me tell you, that is the best decision ever. It really is. And so, yes, I'd be very delighted to meet you too. And Russell is also a part of that organization. So I know that. Awesome. So, I had asked myself, what do I want? I had stepped back and become in touch with Gwen. Gwen at the core. Who is Gwen? And I tell you what, even during that process of finding myself, there was still that little bit of mask going on. Trying to be all perfect, trying to be just somebody, because I grew up in a culture where being perfect was the thing, and it's weird because nobody is perfect. But yet, if you made one little mistake with your grammar and your verb and your adjective or subject aligning, boy, you would be criticized. It was just so critical. And I felt like I just had to be really, perfect. And thank goodness for a few friends of mine. Even when I first started doing my videos, I would freeze. I'd freeze on the screen like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I need to make sure I do this. See, like yesterday when that video timed out, I would have died and gone to somewhere if that had happened. When I was in that mode. But I just say, okay, that's what it is. All with a little dog back here wiggling or flapping his little collar and making the noise in the background. I would have become unglued, completely unglued. So, just finding who I am and just being comfortable in my own skin and just loving who I am. And I tell you, meditation got me there. And I don't know a thing about meditation, about anybody else's meditation. I do my own thing. I just get my music and I lay on my back as I wake up and I breathe deeply and I listen to the music and I connect inside. It is the most beautiful experience that I've ever encountered. And yet I don't know how it's supposed to go, but that was just good enough for me. And I found that when I did that, my whole system relaxed and I was less tense for that day. I was able to deal with bigger hurdles that day. Things were just really phenomenal for me. So I come around to asking myself, what do I want? What do you want in your life? And then there are some basic questions to ask yourself. One of the main things was I found that when I hire people to help me with my tasks, like virtual assistants, sometimes I would want to negotiate the price, and when it was a good deal for me, it was a good deal for me. One thing I've come to discover is that we have to make things win-win for everyone. Because what you want in life is directly related to what you give to others in life. I want that to sink in a little bit. Because I'm going to pause a little bit and I'm going to say it again. What you want in your life is directly related to what you give to others. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you are stingy with others, you're going to get stinginess. If you are abundant with others, you're going to get abundance back. It is a law. It has to happen. There's a thing called karma that some people talk about. What goes around comes around. You've heard it before. As you give, you will receive. What do you want in life? Do you want abundance? Then the next time when you go to a restaurant, for example, and that waitress serves you, give a nice tip. Man, those are some things I used to be really stingy with. Give a nice tip, because that abundance cannot just be up there in thin air. It cannot. It must come back to you. And typically it's not coming back from the same person you gave it to. See, because it's coming back through someone else, because we're all connected in some way. So, do you want to feel happy and fulfilled? Do you want other people to smile at you? Give that. Give that. It's us ladies, we go through a lot sometimes, even in our relationships, right? And sometimes what happens in those relationships can cause us to really close up and to become bitter. I remembered when I had shut down. I had completely shut down. I wasn't trusting anyone. Thanks for that love bubble. And when I went out, I was on guard. If anybody said anything to me, I'm going to bite before they bite me, because I'm sure they're going to bite. And the funny thing was that I wore a scowl and I wasn't even aware of it. I wasn't. And everybody else would scowl back. The moment I started becoming aware and smiling more, sometimes now I'm going through the store and I'm seeing people giving me a big smile. And I don't know why, but then I realized that maybe my face is smiling. Used to be the complete opposite before. What you give, you will receive. So, are you intentional about what you're giving? Are you being kind to others as you see them out there? Are you saying kind words to others? What do you want in your business? Are you setting up win-win relationships? If you have to hire someone, are you trying to find the cheapest way you can pay them for their services? Or are you making it workable so you can make a profit and that they also can live? These are questions we don't seem to confront. And you may think that all of the other sharks, which is one reason why I love CEO Space, by the way, you may think that all of the other sharks are getting away with murder by rampaging people and taking more than they deserve. And it may occur that way to you, but I want to tell you one thing. The bottom will fall out sooner or later. It must happen. It's the law. And you don't know that. You may not be aware of it. I just have read and experienced lots of people who are millionaires and billionaires with a B who've lost it all. Why? Simply because they are not in unity with this law. You cannot give evil and get good. And I know there are camps that say evil and good, but you can't give it. You can't. Okay? You have to make sure you're intentional about setting up win-win situations for the people in your life and being generous with your beliefs and being generous with the way you treat others. Now, here's another thing. Thank you. I love those bubbles coming across my screen. Another thing is the way we believe. When we set out to believe, like sometimes when conditions get really desperate, do you find yourself panicking and focusing on, oh, I need? Or do you find yourself being thankful for the smallest thing? Well, this one is not small. Waking up and breathing isn't small. Even if it's just that, thank you that I am alive today and I have an opportunity to make a difference for myself and others today. Even if you're hungry, you can do that, because that law that I spoke about also works that same way. When you are being grateful and thankful for the things in your life, regardless of you think whether it's big or not, when you're being thankful, that you get more things to be thankful for. It's kind of like you've got to always be looking at the glass being half full instead of half empty. And when the glass is half full, something will show up. It's like ask and believe. Hey, Jean. Oh, mwah, mwah. Oh man, Jean. She is amazing, Jean Norris. It's good to see you. It's like the glass has to be half full. Many times when we sit down, we ask for something and we say, okay, this is what we want. Now we suddenly come from a place of what we don't have. I know, I have done it. I've been there. And it's not really easy to cause your brain to focus on what you actually want, the positive of it, instead of what you don't want. But somehow it seems to work that way. If you're thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want to not be able to pay that bill next month. I need money so I can pay that bill. I don't want, and you're focusing on that need, which is like desperation, driving away what you actually want. But if you can come from a place, I was reading in Napoleon Hill, I think it was the Think and Grow Rich book, that if you can come from a place of creating in your mind the thing you really want and focusing intently on that want instead of what you don't want, oh man, not only does that relieve your stress, but it causes things to get in action much quicker for you. People might pick up the phone and start calling you. Have you ever thought a thought and then suddenly the people are showing up all around you? Isn't that spooky? I think it's spooky. But it's a good spooky, right? Because suddenly all these people are appearing, meeting exactly the need you have. It's crazy, but it's good. See, I feel like I'm at a place right now for my spiritual evolution. You know, I am really delving really deeply into me and who I am at my core. And don't you know what was funny? All of the people that showed up, like everybody showed up. It feels like everybody. It's not really everybody, but it feels like everybody. They were all showing up. And I go, oh my goodness, I am driven to tears how this thing works. So if you find yourself wanting a certain kind of life and it's not coming, first of all, the one thing I will say is just be thankful for the things that you have already. Just be thankful for that. And continuously express thankfulness every day. If you can get in a place where you can meditate, and I would say do that. Like I said, I don't have a clue. I'm not on anybody's meditation schedule. I do my own thing. But my own thing works for me because every time I do that, the day is so bright. It's so beautiful. The sun shines brighter. I feel lighter. I feel happier and at ease and calm. The way I have, people tell me when I go places, they go, you have such a calming presence. I don't know. They probably don't know me. They don't know me. But I mean, tons of people have said that. You've got such a calming presence. I don't know what they're talking about. But I would attribute that to my connection. And you can have that too. And also to continue to generate what you really want in your life, then, as I said, be thankful. Be thankful. And then when you ask for something, Believe that you're going to get it. You know, that's not my principle. That's not the Secret's principle. In fact, if you know this book called the Bible, it's in there. It's in there. It actually says, if you ask, believing that you will receive, you will have it. It says it on The Secret. It says it in Napoleon Hill's book. It says it in a lot of resources. But it says it. Now, why don't we receive? Because we are not believing that it will happen. We allow this current moment and all of these circumstances in this current moment to cloud our vision. We allow the circumstances to cloud our vision so we can't see over there for what we want. If you can conquer this, and if you can come from a place of gratefulness and just projecting on the good that you want and completely ignore what you don't want, things will begin to happen much quicker for you. So, what do you want in your life? Think about it. Are you feeling angst and desperation over it? If you're doing that, back it off. Be grateful, be thankful for everything that's showing up right now. Start there every day. Be thankful, be grateful. Work on those negative thoughts that pop into your head. I have a free resource. If you want that, you're going to have to send me a message, as I said, because I'm not going to put a link on this slide. That's not what it's for. But if you want that, send that and I will send it to you. Be intentional about how you treat other people. You will never, ever, ever get to complete abundance with those abundance sticking around with you if you don't treat others right. You're going to lose it at some point in time. People, if you think, those of you who have made the millions and the billions, if you think that's going to stick around with you forever while you are mistreating others and pilfering others, then think again. It does not work that way. There is karma, and karma is coming, and when it comes, it is sure. So, I want to leave you today with the thought, 3 things. I'm just going to summarize for you what I talked about with you. That if you want to create the life that you have, thank you, I appreciate that. You, first of all, need to create a positive intention for the people around you, for the people you influence. Give good to them, treat them fairly. You cannot get what you do not give. If you treat them unfairly and you are dishonest and you're all of that, that's what's going to show back up in your own life. You're going to find people stabbing you in your back. All of that is going to show up. So you want to get rid of that. If you want abundance, focus on the abundance, not on the lack. And be grateful and thankful for what you have right now. Find a way to make yourself happy every day. You know what does it for me? My music. I take this phone right here and I put my earphone in and I listen to that music, or I have it floating through the house as I work. Oh man, that creates such a happy feeling for me. What is it for you? What calms you and makes you feel completely happy? That's what you need to focus on. And then as you do business, treat others fairly. And more than anything else, when you put out an intention and you ask for something, believe. Ignore or dismiss the doubts. Don't fight it. Because if you fight that doubt, it's going to stick around. Anything you resist, stick around. Anything you resist sticks around. My grammar, right? It will stick around. So don't fight it. Just let it be and focus on the gratefulness and belief. And then watch everything transform in your life. It is a process, my dear friends. And you are deserving. You are wonderful. You are beautiful. You were created for excellence and for success. And no matter what that voice in your head is telling you, you just thank it and tell it to shut up. And you just know you are destined for greatness. That is your calling. And do not entertain any other voice, whether inside or outside, about what that is. Bailey, you're a little doggy. So anyway, I am so delighted that so many of you were able to join me today. I love you tremendously. And tomorrow I will be back and I will talk to you then. Have an amazing afternoon.